What's going on, y'all? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Free Lunch Unplugged. Shout out to our sponsors this season, Dobie and Rollins Orthodontics, helping you love your smile. Shout out to the brand placement sponsor, also Frii Branding LLC. The best version of your brand starts right here. And be sure to hit up our sponsors in the description of this episode. Our sponsors, Track Major Productions, one of the best producers in the Northeast, as well as Rojan Miller for all your real estate needs, flipping houses, buying houses, selling houses. Hit the links in the description. Appreciate y'all. So this morning, as soon as I stepped into the studio today, it really was heavy on my heart. Conversation I had with a gentleman last night, and I think I'm gonna have him back in the studio for us to actually have a deeper dialogue together on that. So make sure you guys stay subscribed and tune in for that. Super dope dude. But what part of that conversation, which we'll have later with the guests, also brought out is, really feeling the pressure of the pursuit, right? So feeling the pressure of what you're pursuing, or for me, in my case, right, this is free lunch. So, I always, you guys know me, I like to lead with me, give my experience. But feeling the pressure of, like, when we desire something, when we pursue something, and then we're met with its opposite, that's a very trying time. You know what I mean? It kind of puts your desire to the test. How bad do you really want it? It puts your why to the test. It puts your you really just gotta, you gotta step up. Like, you really will find out real soon if something is just a faint desire, you kind of want it, or if you really want it when you're met with the opposite, right? So, being now 2 years full-time in on the, content creator full-time, entrepreneur journey of mine, I didn't think I'd make it 2 years. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you guys. I didn't think I'd make it 2 years. In my mind, I was really afraid that, in 2 months after, sending that email to HR about how I wasn't coming back, I thought 2 months later, a month later, I'm like, man, I hope I kept a good relationship with these people, man. I'm gonna probably have to come back and get my job back. But here I am 2 whole years later, not 2 months, 2 years. And when I tell you, every single month has been a faith test, has been a journey, a struggle, a challenge, every single month. And by the end of every single month, I've been able to look back on that month and go, I don't know how that just happened. I do not know how I got through that one, but I did yet again. And it was even more encouraging this year as each month went by, right? Because I had last year as a full year, my first full year to actually reflect on. And so having that first full year to actually reflect on, this year, month by month, I was able to make those month by month comparisons, right, to last year. So, by the time the end of January of this year came, I was looking at January last year and making comparisons, like month by month, did I do better this January of this year than January of last year? That's what I mean. And so doing that month by month comparison also encouraged me because I was seeing how I had growth each month, compared to last year. So that was encouraging. The struggles and the temptation to want to just go back and just find a job, that wasn't any lighter. I think when you're in a situation like that, right, this entrepreneurial journey, this full-time journey, I'm really not sure if that feeling ever goes away. Um, that kind of anxiety, that anxiousness of like, I could just go back and get me a job. You know what I mean? I could just stop experiencing this unpredictable, sometimes very anxiety driven experience of an entrepreneur. Like, I could let that go and just get me a guaranteed income that I'm going to make every single week, give me a regular paycheck, and that'll be that. And then what I hope to do, what I love to do, what I'm passionate about doing, I could just fit that in on the side somewhere. But again, what all of us know as entrepreneurs, those of us who are on this journey, we know that that pathway doesn't make us happy. It doesn't fulfill us. We won't. It'll provide for a temporary relief from the anxiety of not knowing, having a regular paycheck every week, or not knowing exactly what that check is going to be every single week. It'll relieve that temporarily, and then soon afterwards we'll be right back to square one of not feeling fulfilled, not being happy, not being our best selves, and honestly, for those of us who are entrepreneurs with families, it's really kind of like pursuing that passion, pursuing that vision for yourself, staying committed, diligent, working hard at the thing that you do, at the entrepreneur thing, right, that you got going. It encourages us, it makes us feel good, it makes us feel happy, but it is one of the best things we could also do for the loved ones that we are closest to, the people we care about, the people who are part of our why. It's one of the best things we can do, not because you're maybe materially successful at the thing that you're doing, that you're passionate about, that you're pursuing, but because in doing that and pursuing that, it makes you your happiest, best self to present yourself as wholly, as fulfilled, as happy of a person to those loved ones, right? So I'm a better father, I'm a happier father, I'm a better husband, I'm a happier husband because I am being fulfilled. I am presenting myself to those children that I father. I'm presenting myself to that wife that I am married to. I'm presenting myself to them as my best version. And the best version of me, I dare to say, is the happiest version of me. The best version of me is the most fulfilled version of me. And so what we really experience, and this is what a time where I experienced this too. Those of you who know my story, who've been following me for a while, you all know I left a six-figure paying job as a police officer. Wife, kids, all of that depending on me. I left that, and then I found my happiest version of myself, my most fulfilled version. And for me personally, I believe it has made me a better dad, a more available dad, a better husband, a more available husband. Like the countless holidays and family outings, events that I missed out on when I had to be somewhere at a specific time every single week, day in and day out, no matter what the holidays was, when everybody else was enjoying their family, in that particular workplace. Nowadays, workplaces are really trying to have this work-life balance whole situation. So I really don't know what the 9 to 5 space is like these days. It's been since I left the police department. That's been like 2015. Like it's almost 10 years now. So I know that police culture is still very much the same. You know what I mean? As far as the work goes, holidays come, it don't matter. If you're on a particular rotation and the holiday falls on your rotation, that don't matter. And you may get called in and mandatorily forced to work if you on the bottom of the totem pole. But being able to be in control of my time and spend time with my family when I want to, controlling the schedule day to day, that's been the best thing. So that's been kind of the trade-off of the pressure kind of that you feel when you're pursuing the thing, right? Having to deal with the unknowns, right? And being challenged by its opposite. That's kind of the give and take, so it's worth it to me. It becomes worth it. And that's what you have to identify for you. You know what I mean? Like, what really would make it worth it? What would make it worth it while you're still in the building stages of a new idea, a new venture, a new small business endeavor as an entrepreneur? What would make the unknowns of that, the challenges of that, what would make it worth it for you? What would make it worth not having all the money you need sometimes week to week? Like literally, my wife, she stepped into my bedroom closet. Shout out to the bedroom closet where we used to record season 1 and part of season 2 of the podcast before we got this nice fancy studio. But on the wall inside of my closet where I used to record this podcast, I have papers stuck to the wall, bills, shut off notices, to forever keep me humble and remind me of where God brought me from. And she said she went into my closet to look for something, and she said, I didn't know we had a electric bill shut off notice last year. Or was it electric bill? No, there is an electric bill notice shut off from last year up there. But she said, I didn't know we had a eviction notice. That's what it was. Because it was this bright color piece of paper. And so she says, I didn't know we had an eviction notice last year. And I said, yeah. They would slide those under our door when we were just even like a couple days late on the rent, right? And she was like, that's crazy because they're supposed to give you more time than that, like a grace period. And I said, well, this was back when, whoever was the property manager at the time, they was cutthroat. They wasn't playing no games about their money. And so, but yeah, I told her, I said, yeah, we had an eviction notice. And again, those were times where the anxiety levels were maybe a little higher. But again, it was worth it. And I think, sometimes we can use the unknowns or what possibly can go wrong. We use that many times as the reason why we're not going to do something, because the risk is too great or the collateral damage is too great, right? Like I could not have a place to live, but also not have a place to live with these kids and my wife, right? And so for some of us, we can say, you know what, that's why I can't take this risk right now and take the leap to be a full-time entrepreneur. But what I say is I take that same unknown and that same risk, and for me, the way I internalize it is because me, my children, and my wife can be homeless. That's the reason why I will not fail at this. That's the reason why I will be up at 6 a.m. getting ready to be in this studio by 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. with this baby right here behind me, sleep right now in the playpen. That is why I will be, or strive to be, the hardest working man in this area, in this region. It is because of the risk involved. It is because of those very things why I will not lose. And that is the same resolve I say all of you need to have. All of the other entrepreneurs out there listening who tune in, for all of those of us who are juggling the business, the idea, the passions, juggling that with our family, juggling that with balancing that with our faith, right? Trying to make sense of it all. Don't let the risk be the thing that says no. Be the thing that says you can't go. Be the thing that does not cause you to leap. Let the risk be, first realize the risk. There's risk involved either way, right? There were people with 9-to-5 dependable jobs, dependable in quotes, so to speak, when COVID happened and lost those jobs. Those very dependable same jobs, right? So there's risk on both sides of the coin. We simply are picking the poison, right? We're saying I'm going to be in control at least of the risk that I take. And with that risk, let it be the thing that propels you, not the thing that grips you and keeps you stuck in telling you that you can't and that you won't and that it will fail. But those risks involved, those children involved, that spouse of yours involved, those will be the reasons why I will not lose. At no cost, or at any cost rather, whatever it takes. So not only am I up early with this baby here in the studio early for 12 hours a day, regularly, sometimes like yesterday, here for 16 hours. Came in at 7:30 a.m., didn't leave until after 10 p.m. So let it push you, y'all. Let it push you. Don't let it grip you. And realize, man, you can do whatever it is that you determine and set out and have a strong resolve to do. And if you find yourself flailing and realizing that it's difficult or you're not in a certain pursuit, it might be that the desire, that the why that you have is simply weak. Your why is weak. You need to find a different why, and that's okay. That's okay to reassess, regroup, reevaluate. But I'm in here literally early with the baby attached to me, y'all, on the top of it, with the full work day, trying to figure out where I'm going to find new clientele, where am I going to sell in a new space, new clients, new client work, editing, my work, my platform, what I do. So not just branding for others, but my own branding, keeping up with that. Then I'm in grad school at one of the most challenging schools in the region, at Johns Hopkins University, trying to further, again, my knowledge and education in the space in which I consult in branding and marketing. So I'm juggling all that, the studio full-time work, the consulting, my entrepreneur work, the business, right? Work, getting the degree, juggling the baby throughout the day, who, by the way, she's sick now. So she's crying. Yesterday she had an entire vomit attack, vomiting up all this mucus that she was sucking down. The doo-doo diapers. It all, man, some days just get crazy in here. And the mind wants to say, I give up. But the why is strong. The why gotta be strong. So I'm praying that for you all. Stay encouraged, man. Stay encouraged, y'all. At the end of the day, stay encouraged. It's free lunch. Free food for your soul. Peace.